Hi guys, so I'm back. It's another video this week. I realized that, sorry, I'm adjusting my screen a little bit because I can't really get a good angle. So I realized that a lot of my videos have been pretty down and depressing lately, and who would think a depressed person would, make a sad video. Yeah. But, I don't let it define me, and I think that this week I wanted to do something a little different um, because I've mentioned doing it before and I think it's time. So, and over the weekend I had a rough time on Saturday, and there was just a lot going on, and there's a lot that's going on this week too that I've just been really anxious about and worried about, and I kind of just lost it. I kind of had a panic attack, and it sucked, to be honest. And I realized that on Sunday, when I had all day to myself, finally, I got my laundry done and errands, and then I had the whole day to watch whatever I wanted, which was fantastic. And it just brought me back to the fact that I cope with, escaping to TV and shows and movies. And I thought, I think it's a good time to do this video and just discuss them a little bit. So, how I pick what I watch when I'm in a certain mood, it's kind of complex, I feel. I mean, there's no real rhyme or reason. I mean, there is some rhyme or reason to it, and most of the time, I mean, maybe 40% of the time, it's because I can't find anything on Netflix and I just don't want to look for something, so I'll just put whatever on that I find. But there are certain shows and certain movies that I will specifically look for. I'll even pay Google Movies to rent it if I can't find it, because I really want to watch it that bad. So, for example, one movie that when I'm in a really deep, dark place and I haven't seen it in a while, and I only watch it about once a year. It's my all-time favorite movie. So for those of you who don't know me, this is going to be maybe a surprise to you. Forrest Gump is actually my all-time classic favorite movie. I love that movie with all my heart. It is just such a wonderful story. The cast is fantastic. I mean, Tom Hanks. Can you really get any better? It's got drama. It's got romance. It's got action. It's got comedy. I mean, it has everything that the makings of a perfect movie would have. And again, most of you who know me know I don't believe in perfection as a rule. However, there are a couple of exceptions in my life, and Forrest Gump is definitely one of them. So check out Forrest Gump if you haven't. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have. If you haven't, then you have not lived, so you need to go check it out. That being said, I have not watched it in a while, so I think maybe I'll watch it next weekend. So going back to shows, I'm going to focus on shows today because movies are a little more complex in terms of like when I watch them and why I watch them. So I have certain shows that when I'm really angry or really sad or really just indifferent or kind of feeling empty and numb, or even happy, I will, like if I'm overexcited about something too and I need to calm down, like there are certain things I have to watch to do that. So I'm going to go down my little list on this sticky that I wrote. And as an event planner, I really hate stickies because you just lose them all the time and everywhere, and I've been using them more often recently, which is not like me, and I need to really get back to my old roots because I hate sticky notes. I really do. It's just insane. There's no point to them. Anyway, we'll not discuss that. So the first couple shows, when I'm really angry, if I have so much anger that I can't contain it and I don't have any outlet for it, I love watching Game of Thrones. It's such a great, like, you watch other people beat up other people and, slash other people and fight, and there's so much anger and violence, and I know that's awful, but I'd rather watch somebody else do it than actually do it to myself to somebody. So it kind of like fulfills that side for me. So it's kind of perfect. And most of you, I'm sure, watch Game of Thrones, of course. The other one, when I'm really angry too, I like Supernatural. Supernatural, that's a mixture though. Actually, Supernatural I'll watch when I'm angry, but also when I'm feeling numb, because a lot of the transitions that the characters go through, I mean, some of you guys aren't sci-fi or fantasy or, you know, whatever fans. I am. I love that kind of stuff. I'll be the first to tell you that, like, I've watched Supernatural many times. I'm still on another run through of it now. There are so many seasons, but it's just such a good show, and the writing is really, really well done. And people, I think it's underrated, to be honest with you. I mean, I have a few friends that like it. I mean, but not too many, surprisingly. But yeah, Supernatural, that's a good one too. It's got lots of magic, and there's, you know, not everything always turns out the way you want it to or expect it to, which is good because it kind of keeps my realist side in check. Kind of keeps me, like, you know, from getting too carried away emotionally with things, which is sometimes my biggest problem, being an empath. I absorb so much that I let out even more, and it's really intense. It's actually pushed people away before, so yeah, so Game of Thrones, Supernatural, those are great ones. I used to watch The Walking Dead. I kind of fell out of that, but if you like the zombie gore stuff, Walking Dead's a great choice too. Probably the first few seasons. I don't know how the later seasons really, they kind of got bad for me. Okay, so anyway, that's more anger and stuff like that. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is also good for when I want to feel. When I feel like I've been numb for so long and I just need to have emotion again, Buffy is a classic. And yes, it's pretty dated and it's kitschy, but in the best way possible. I mean, the characters are great. You know, you get to see Seth Green in his young years, and it's a really, really, I mean, it's not always feel good, but it makes me feel, and I think that, you know, it's really helpful. When I'm nostalgic and I long for my youth and days of childhood and, you know, all that stuff, I watch Dawson's Creek. You can judge me all you want. That's fine. I was a Creek girl. Pacey was my sexual awakening. It happened. But it's just, it's hard to get through all of it. I mean, I'll rewatch it, but I'll skip certain episodes because I know from the writing and stuff that wasn't my favorite, or I just didn't really care about the plot in that episode. But there are some really good episodes with amazing writing, and I mean, who doesn't want to sit and watch James Van Der Beek ugly cry for like 10 minutes? It's pretty much the best thing ever. But yeah, no, it kind of just makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm young again and not a care in the world, and it helps me kind of decompress and just feel less pressure and weight on my back. So that's a good one. Another one, when I'm feeling nostalgic, because my father used to watch this all the time on the TV, and he used to have it on all the time, and I saw all the episodes all the time. But Star Trek Next Generation. I'm a Trekkie. I'll be the first to say it. It's just when I want to like have that intellectual, psychological, philosophical feel to a show, Star Trek Next Gen is the best for me. I'm still working on Deep Space Nine right now. I have not seen Voyager. I know one of you is pretty mad at me about that. And I will watch Enterprise, and then I'll get to Discovery eventually. I think this winter I'm going to get through Deep Space Nine. But it's just that like intellectual, you know, sociology and things like that, and just makes you feel more human, even though most humans suck. No offense. But it just kind of brings you back to what matters and what's important, and that we aren't the end-all be-all. Earth is just a blip in the universe. I mean, it's just really, it's eye-opening, and when I feel like I need to have that reminder about the world and everything, that's where I go to. Sorry about the dogs. They don't stop barking sometimes when they start, and yeah, I can't do anything about it. Hopefully you can hear me. When I'm really sad, or I, you know, don't really know what else to watch, and I'm kind of just upset about whatever, or depressed, Steven Universe is choice. And Adventure Time. Steven Universe and Adventure Time, they are kids shows, yes. However, they cater to adults as well. So they have a storyline that's, you know, there's a basic plot and it's interesting and it's fun, but there's actually some twists and it's kind of cool, and the character development is very mature, and it's very complex. It's more complex than you'd think. I mean, as a kid, you get it. I mean, get the base. Sorry, I have something in my eye. I mean, you get the base plot and you get the basic idea. But as an adult, you kind of read into those things better, and it's really cool. The song is very catchy. They have lots of songs, and they do a lot of self-reflection in that show, and your soul and things like that. And it's very interesting and different. Adventure Time, in a similar sense, they have their fun. It's a comedy, but it's also this, you know, whole other side of it where it's this world that, you know, you're still learning about the world, and you learn about the history of what happened and how everything became what it is, and it's actually really interesting. But like, if I'm really, really upset about something, that's where I'll go. Those cartoons are good. Big Mouth is really good too on Netflix. I haven't really specified what category that would go in for me, but I enjoyed the show. And basically, and Schitt's Creek. Schitt's Creek is really, really good if you haven't seen Schitt's Creek. It's kind of like Arrested Development, but a little less culty and more, I don't really know how to explain it. Like Arrested Development meets Always Sunny, but with rich people that get displaced because they lose all their money and their fortune and stuff. It's great. It's got the dad from American Pie in it. And his son, who they both write in the show and they star in the show. And, oh my god, I'm blanking on her name too. Beetlejuice. Oh, Robin Wright Penn is from Forrest Gump. That's right. I was blanking on her name. I was going to say she's a fantastic actor too. Sorry. Sidetracked. Going back. The woman from Beetlejuice, who plays the stepmom, or the mother, or something. I don't remember exactly who she played. She's a great actress, and I can't, for the life of me, remember what her name is. But they're all fantastic. They're all great. And they're short episodes. They just have the best beats. Like, the timing and the writing is just right on point. So Schitt's Creek, and then there's The Office, which is great. There is, I'm like looking at my list. Oh, so The Office and Parks and Rec are when I'm feeling excited about something, but also if I'm just kind of indifferent, or I'm feeling inquisitive, or I feel like I'm too deep into my thoughts that I need something that's gonna like make things lighter. Not that I'm sad, it's just sometimes we all just get into those pensive moods and we're just kind of really deep in our own mind and it just feels heavy. So those shows, The Office, Parks and Rec, and The Good Place, a fairly new one to my repertoire. The Good Place is wonderful. If you like Kirsten Bell and, oh my god, once again I'm blanking on his freaking name. Oh my goodness, it's driving me crazy. I can't remember his name for the life of me. He played Becker. That's all I remember right now. But he's fantastic too. It's just a great cast too, and the storyline, they're limitless. It's really cool. It's very unique. There's some great cameos in there. So those are some of those other shows that I watch. I'm trying to think of anything else. There's not much else that I go back to frequently. Those are the main ones, but what I'm trying to say is if you are one of those people that loves Netflix binging and things like that, if I want to be scared, like Stranger Things, yeah, that's a good one. I'm also watching The Haunting of Hill House, which is, so far it's great. Anyway, that's just a snapshot. But yeah, just think about, when you're in certain moods, what you crave, what you go for. I like to feel, if I'm feeling a certain way, I kind of like to go into that same direction if it's not a really intense emotion. If it's a really intense emotion, I tend to go the opposite direction. So if I'm feeling more indifferent or I'm just nostalgic, those shows that are medium ground like Dawson's Creek, or like The Office and things like that, those are level, just level out balance. If I'm really depressed, I need cartoons. If I'm really excited or I'm way too nervous and anxious about something, I need something that's going to bring me back down, to calm me down. So just keep in mind, if you are a binger like me, just think about that, and think about what works for you. And sometimes it's cool to really analyze why you watch certain things. I didn't really do it for a long time, and then when I did this, I was like, that's very interesting. So hopefully you guys find something out of it for yourself, but that's just one of my coping mechanisms. So yeah, I'm not just a couch potato. I promise I do things and I get out and I socialize. That's one of my main things. I like to escape and not be in my own head, a lot. So yeah, that's all, folks, for today, or this week. I might have another video this week. I don't know yet. Still deciding. My D-Day is on Thursday, so I have been, processing a lot of emotions with my impending divorce being finalized. So that'll be interesting. I think that's also why I was pretty anxious this past weekend. I think it's just a plethora of things that have just hit me in a weird way. So we'll see how the week goes. But thanks for listening, and next week I'll come up with something also exciting, hopefully, so you're not completely bored. I'm so sorry about the dogs. But yeah, thanks so much. Till next time.